YouTube? Here we are with a new ban list in Duel Links. Everybody said it's an exciting ban list. I was recording my initial reaction, the live reaction, but I realized my editor is asleep.
One eye open when I'm sleeping.
So I need to redo it right now without cuts, so you're gonna see the raw footage, the forbidden limited list, implementation details. There's only 3 cards that got hit. DDD, Swirl Slime, Dark Contract with the Gate, and Seer. Now, what this means is, DDDs are not best deck. Okay, that's the first thing. But, you gotta keep in mind, the deck already rolled well without Swirl Slime. Even though Swirl Slime gave it a boost, a huge boost, because Genki's negate spell and trap cards, so going second, Swirl Slime is always good to have in hand. First version of DDDs technically did not get hit, the one with Kaiser 3 attacks. The second version of DDDs only lost Thomas, became a limited 1 card, and Kepler as a limited 2 cards. So I would say DDDs are still good to be played. I don't know if it's going to be tier 1 necessarily, but it is still very good. However, tier limited to 3 with Farfa alongside it and Skill Prisoner, I think the trap card is a pretty huge hit. Now, the Burning Abyss players are forced into lowering the deck size. They usually play 30 cards, and for them to play double Seer 1 Farfa or double Farfa 1 Seer, they have to decrease the card list and make it something closer to 20 for it to be viable. Otherwise, I don't think that the deck can do much. 1 card got off the ban list, which is Blackwing Orochi. Blackwing Orochi might not seem significant. However, it was a limited 2 cards, and then you had Blackwing right here, which was a limited 2 card. And both of these cards are very necessary for your Blackwing combos, right? So you cannot give up any of them. What happens to be a limited 2 card as well is Blackwing's Trap, which is a counter trap that can activate from hand. It is an insane trap. Now that Orochi is unlimited and Valkyrie is limited to 2, the trap is back. You can only play 1 copy of the trap, true. You have to have Valkyrie, but still, having that 1 trap is pretty good. How is it very good? How often are you gonna get your 1 of in hand? Well, I'll tell you. If you do your Blackwing combo, you're gonna activate Whirlwind, hopefully 2 Whirlwinds. You're gonna search a bunch of cards. You're gonna thin your deck to about 10 cards, 11 cards. Then you can summon Ancient Pixie Dragon, bounce the field spell, reactivate it, bounce it with Zephyros, reactivate it, draw 1 more card. So after you thin out the deck to maybe 10 cards, you can draw 1 extra card. So that gives you more consistent Blackwing Trap. Might not be top tier, but still it's a nice thing that Konami did, removing Blackwing Orochi from the ban list. Unfortunately, this is the only card that got removed from the ban list. So they still did not consider removing Chris Strong cards, Element Saber cards, Shiranui cards, for example. All of these cards are still heavily nerfed. I would love to see in future ban list some, you know, unnerfed to Fristrons, Element Sabers. Even though some people think Element Sabers are toxic, they still did need some, you know, thought. It needed some brain cells. So the game was more fun when Element Sabers were around. So hopefully in future ban lists we see that Element Sabers are unnerfed and Fristrons are unnerfed. Another unnerf we need to see is Jalanica, the Invoker Fusion, the Earth Invoker Fusion. It was limited in the past because it was a 3k beater with concentrated current. It becomes a 6.2k beater, maybe 7k with Alistair boost, which is a lot of attack. People were getting OTK'd by it, 1 hit per game. But there's like a lot of cards right now, a lot of deck lists can make that the same thing. They can make big beaters that can swing once and end the duel. So I think bringing back Jalanica should be fine. Bringing back Magellanica as a card is not really meta-defining, but because it's limited to 2, you cannot play it in other Earth strategies. So yeah, that's it for the cards. We have skill rebalancing. We have few interesting ones. Well, there's only 3. Apparently, they're all boosts, not nerfs. So we have Shooting Star Road, the one for Yusei, the one where you summon the big Stardust Dragon 3300 attack multiple times. Now, what this skill does, you're gonna place 1 Junk Converter to the grave. That's already known. If you control Stardust Dragon, play Formula Synchron to the field from outside the deck. We know that already. That's still part of the old skill. Then you can place 3 tuners to the top of your deck from outside of your deck. So which means you are guaranteed 3 attacks with your 3300 attack monster, which is nice. Usually, if you're playing Stardust with a lot of back row and non-tuners, Usually you would end up with 1 attack, 2 attacks at most. But now you're guaranteed 3 and could go higher if the other 2 cards are tuners. There was an extra deck change also. Of course, your deck contains at least 8 junk or synchron monsters. That's easy to do. The other change is your extra deck contains at least 1 shooting star dragon and at least 4 junk synchron or stardust dragons, which means you have 2 spots free. You can play whatever in those 2 spots, which is nice. Also, you are restricted. If you play formula synchron from outside of the deck, you can only special summon dragon type wind synchro monsters or warrior synchro monsters until the end of your opponent turn. So you're gonna wait until your next turn to be able to synchro summon into non-warrior, non-dragon wind monsters. This is implemented so that formula synchron doesn't activate in the opponent turn and summon problematic monsters. I'm guessing something like Black Rose Dragon. I think that's the idea behind it. Another skill that got unnerfed is a Demon's Resonance. They're boosting the anime skills. Demon's Resonator skill usually locked your extra deck to only dragon synchros. Now it says add to the extra deck a red rising dragon. So that gives you an extra spot in the extra deck. Usually you play 3 red rising dragon. You can now only play 2 and the third one is going to be added by the skill. So you get more spots for tech or toolbox synchros that you would like to play. Your deck contains at least 8 Resonator cards, which is easy, of the both level 2 tuners, and then 3 of the spell. That's 9 cards, you're chilling. Your extra deck contains Red Dragon Archfiend and Red Nova Dragon, and does not contain any monsters other than synchro monsters. So you're gonna be able to add any synchro monster you want to this. Spell for Roses. I don't know much about Rose Dragons, so I'll let this be for you. I don't know if this skill is going to be helpful or not, so here's the text. You can read it. And this is going to be it.